Servant leadership is an area that I have been researching, and we go back to Greenleaf's writings on servant leadership. One of the salient attributes of servant leadership is that the leader's role is, well, namely to serve. But what does serving look like? It really manifests itself in the leader bringing people in to participate in a process. So whatever process that might be in the particular organization where that leader is leading, the leader prioritizes sort of that bringing in the employee and helping them be and become. A second salient attribute of servant leadership is what Greenleaf calls persuasion. And he wrote that leaders should seek to persuade their listeners, members of their audience, rather than force or coerce them to think a certain way. When we think about persuasion as a communication technique, it might look a little different for many of us, but I think at the heart of it, there's this idea of having conversation and using both cognition and affect to bring somebody alongside. I think one of the things that we see is an organizational culture that is mutually affirming, that gives people space to talk to each other, to try to persuade one another, and to come alongside each other in the work that is being done. I think one of the key factors for an organization to be resilient is that it has the capacity to learn and adapt. And so persuasion is part of that learning. When we try to persuade others, we might be persuaded ourselves in the process. It is a mutual process. It's not one way. And I think as organizations build that capacity for learning, where people are encouraged to grow in their competence, they're given some freedom to play and to be creative with how they get their work done. And they also find that the workplace is a good place to be because there are opportunities for human connection. When those things come together, one of the things that we do see is that the organization is building this capacity to learn and adapt and therefore to be more resilient.